This one's a bread and butter strike for a lot of the PvE players, because this one's one of the more renowned farmable nightfalls when somebody needs a good exotic or something. Okay, so I see how this series of unfortunate events can stack up. Let's see how bad it gets. Alright, they didn't cut their losses. They didn't say, let them just regen to full, we're going to reset. They said, nope, we already did damage. Keep putting damage in. That's some good teamwork.
And the barrier colossi can have 2 guns. The big kind of like the arc launcher gun is annoying at long range, but I mean, as soon as you're close to him, he's kind of useless.
It does have a cooldown period between the shots. It's, I don't know what RPM it is, but it's super, super slow. Whereas the other one's the opposite of that. It's a minigun. And the thing about it is it can still kill you in 4 shots before it fully spins up, so.
Yep. The minigun is absolutely ridiculous.
I gotta say, this section in particular, when I run through it, the Warmind cells pay dividends.
Yep, just tons of ads everywhere.
And also those yellow fuel canisters, they do a pretty decent chunk even on GM.
Yep. I like almost always grenade that middle spot where there's just a bunch of ads by those barrels out in the middle.
So answering a question in chat, kind of nuts that with 2 entrants I got a submission this crazy. I agree, but it's also the nature of the tourney. It's one thing going wrong can put you out of contention for a win. So this is just the one that rose to the top, and it's a fantastic run. I did expect, though, around 10 teams to attempt it. It's still cool to see one show up.
Can for sure say about 4 teams at least.
Yeah, for sure 4 that attempted it, and then they just said at a certain point they're not beating this one, so they probably just said, we're calling it. Still would have been cool to see them finish out the run and see how the strategies are different. So if they're still in chat, send me the VOD. We'll go through it. See how you approached it differently. I really have to stress that, though, guys. The nature of a tournament, it's just a whole different set of variables. I'll plan to, you know, optimize this idea in the future. Maybe instead of a 9-hour period, it'll be a 24-hour period. Maybe it'll be a week. Who knows? I don't know what the right amount is between consistency and optimization. A link to this video, that's going to be up to Indica. Ultimately, I would like to upload this commentary onto YouTube if possible. I think it's super interesting. And a lot of good conversation points with Mactix too.
I'm not gonna edit out the VOD.
I mean, I've been on recording since I think half of Broodhold.
Oh shit.
But I might just use that VOD part to just edit in a quick, hey guys, this was the results of the tourney, this is the team that rose to the top, and so forth and so forth and so forth. And then just say, this is now the recorded version of the VOD. I thought it was interesting. We talked about some cool stuff. Are they going to go under or just direct? They're going direct.
The usual. But over there, you deal with the Colossus seeing you more.
Oh, that's one way to do it too, is just go under the bridge.
Oh.
See, I always feel like this side's more consistent, but that's a different way of getting there.
Oh shit.
Remember that railgun has like a very, very refrigerator-sized hitbox.
Yeah, that will guaranteed hit you through walls. I think that is more purposely designed than. Whoop.
So question, what made me put this together? I don't think there's a lot of difficulty in this game right now, and it's cool to see when those things are incentivized, what players come up with, and what things in the sandbox that they care about to master. So, I think this is that result, man. I think they did an excellent job of showing that off. I would like to see things like this in the game. Maybe Bungie doing this for a TWAB every now and then. Maybe there being a cosmetic for something like this in the future, because other games that I play don't stray away from this level of difficulty and recognizing or rewarding it in the game. So we will see moving forward, but how can you prove that there's a demand for this sort of thing if you don't try to get it off the floor, to give an example? So I'm hoping that this is the start of that. Maybe in the future we do a Grandmaster Nightfall League where by Thursday you have a run submitted and you compare it against everyone else. Whoever gets the fastest wins, and we'll recognize it within a group of PvEers. Might be fun. How come my voice always sounds professional? It's because this has to be on a YouTube video, and I have viewers that might be listening to this while doing dishes.
It's funny too because every time there's something like this where I mainly have to listen, that's exactly what I do when I'm doing the dishes. Just to hear, like, listen to something while I'm doing that that chore.
I think I mentioned using Divinity at that range is not easy. He literally can't see what he's shooting.
Yeah, Divinity at that range, it's super inconsistent, and I almost feel like it's almost connection bound too. Because I see some players, the Divinity just, I know they're on point on their screen, but it still flickers on and off.
Or like it looks like they're on point and...
Yeah, you can physically see the laser hitting. It just doesn't give the bubble sometimes at that distance.
No, I was going to say, for some people on their screen it looks like it's hitting, but for your teammates it looks like you're not even aiming correctly.
So yeah, Chad, I mean, I hope at the end of the day this is an entertaining watch. You're learning something new. But also, I do hope that this is a start of saying Grandmasters can be watchable when there's these sort of difficulty restrictions applied to them. Because this isn't just one, it's all 6 for speed. And that might be that magic that Grandmasters on their own are missing. Please include the bit about how Overload denies regen and instant proc of explosive time payload. Let's get into that again. Just keep this clean. Dimitri, do you mind explaining that one? How Overload denies the regen?
So, unlike other champions, Overload champions is their mechanic is kind of more constant, whereas if Overload the first time they stagger like unstoppable and they just kind of sit there pouting about their pain, but when they get back up you still need to overload them, like, because Overload stalls energy or ability regen, and their ability is stupidly fast health regen, so it lasts like 5 seconds or so. So as long as you hit them with an overload proc about every 5 seconds, they will not get their health back ever.
So essentially, just keep shooting with overload if you don't want them to heal.
And as right now in the game, there is the auto rifle SMG. Other than Divinity, there's the auto rifle SMG where you have to hold the trigger for a certain amount of time, and then it fires off an overload shot. To me, that one's insanely inconsistent because you're just kind of having to spray at them and hoping that bullet hits them of your spray. Unlike hand cannons and sidearms, where you just have to hit them enough for it to proc. And right now, I'd say burst sidearms and explosive / time payload hand cannons are by far the most consistent. Because
I would agree with that.
Because explosive payload and time payload both are count as 2 hits, so it doesn't care. It doesn't care how much damage you do. It just cares about how many hits you do. So 2 hits instead of 1 means it procs almost consistently off 1 shot.
So in case you maybe didn't watch the rule video ahead of time, they do have to achieve the platinum status, which means killing all the spawning champions. And that was, I think, a real good addition to this tournament because it makes you have to do more of the strike.
Yeah. With invisibility in the game, you can dodge a lot of strikes. Like just encounters, because most of them are they just throw ads in between you and where you need to be. There are some spots where it tells you got to kill the things in order to move on, but let's just make sure you have to actually engage the mechanic of GMs as champions.
I realize we've been sort of all over the place on commentary on this one, but like I said, this is bread and butter for these. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen this one like 1,000 times.
Yeah, this is the most straightforward strike. This is the get from one end of the strike to the other and then fight a boss.
And we pretty much know how this is going to go down to. One of them's going to climb the chain. Someone might special finisher on the bridge to give more Izanagi ammo. They're going to divinity from down below, and the boss is going to be history.
Yeah. For people who don't know, there's a flag to get this boss to start like looking down at you when you go up the elevator. That is about most of the way up, and you can proc that early by just climbing the chain.
Oh, okay. No. This might be a flag on the play here. I saw him interact there. Does that affect it?
No.
No. Okay, disregard then.
If
look,
one
they're
goes up
finishing,
early,
they're specifically finishing. They're dropping green ammo on the platform.
Okay, it looks like they might not be climbing though, because you'd have wanted to climb a long time ago.
Masa was already up the chain. Okay,
Okay, so Matsu already went up there.
so he was climbing off screen. Got it. Understood.
So it looks like they're just hiding for now. So he
They're also just hiding.
Yeah. Probably so he won't delete them or something. I don't know.
I mean, once again, look at how long they are invested into this. They're an hour and a half invested. This is the time to make safety strat calls.
They might also be using the well for the damage while taking out the flame turrets here.
Oh,
So
true. If they put the well in the corner, all the ads usually glob together, so the Warmind cells would just trash everything.
Yep.
That's true what Inika just said in chat. He's running really high frame rate, so like the elevator literally is like eating his feet, so you can't
It's
move.
an even simpler reason. Oh, shit. I'm going to start going 30 FPS on that elevator. I didn't know.
I'm kind of lucky that I have kind of potato computers, so it runs
like
60.
Right before the elevator. Just hold on, guys. I'm switching to Xbox. Just let me rejoin. I know you can't rejoin in GMs, but wow, I did not know that. Like that alone, wow, that changes my approach to this strike. I'm over here. I cannot move an inch, and I'm like, what the heck, guys?